only prescription. It's more cowbell.
I'm broken system, broken trust, and I approve this message.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. Really, that money. That money.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Welcome back to the channel, my friends. We are back with some Eric Martin content. But first, because I'm going to pitch it anyway, let's see if it pops up correctly. My third channel, Reading the Room. Go subscribe over there. It's great. It's where I actually get to, not be stressed out by random drama and people threatening to kill me. But we're going to jump to this Eric Martin video. It's Eric Martin. I watched a little bit of it, so most of it is going to be new to all of us. The audio is pretty bad. I jacked it up to like 1.5 million. I'm going to put on closed captions so you can hear. It gets really, really, really good in some spots, really bad in other spots. But if you guys couldn't tell, yeah, this is Eric Martin's YouTube page. Yeah, I did not know that he had a YouTube page until he posted the link on his Facebook. We are going to be looking at this video. He posted like a minute and some change, like a minute and 1 second clip on his Facebook, and then left a comment, because I was going to stop it right there and make that video. But he made the comment, oh, not all of it has uploaded on Facebook, and then posted it again. Yes, Ryan, Eric Martin. Eric the Professional Magician Martin. Yeah, so let's jump into this. He's got videos going way back. I don't know how nobody's found this page yet, but let me get this set up for you guys. I want it to be nice. We're good to go. We're playing it on regular speed. You know what? I'm actually going to make it that way, because Eric Martin doesn't really make an appearance. Come on.
The court previously is running hearing on January 14th, providing
Okay.
defendants an opportunity to vacate or legally timely defense.
Actually, you know what?
Plaintiff purchased the properties in the Wayne County Treasurer on October 16, 2025, following a legal proceeding at foreclosure under MCL 11.78K, and absolute title vested in the Wayne County Treasurer when Wayne County, when the prior owner failed to redeem the property by the statute, extinguishing all prior.
You'll know when the good part pops in.
We included a quitclaim deed attached to our complaint, and at this point, we did file the appropriate notice to quit. It was mailed on October 29th, but it was personally served with some on January 7th. So my client requests judgment in possession with the writ to issue after February 2nd.
And you gave a 30-day notice.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Bird. Mr. Martin, you can go to the podium, I can hear you a little better.
All right.
And you're under oath, Mr. Martin, what do you have to say about this matter?
Yes. Okay, I'm Eric Joseph Martin, one of the sovereign people, and I am the son of Joseph Martin, my father. He's deceased now. Originally was houses in his name. It's a private property house, never was used commercially to make profits. So me being his son, I would say under here.
Good morning, Your Honor. We have a resolution.
Ms. Nazal, we're in another hearing. Can you please mute, and we'll let you know when we're ready? Ms. Nazal?
Yes.
We're in the middle of a hearing. Can you please mute, and we'll let you know when we're ready?
Oh, my apologies.
That's okay. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Martin.
Yeah, so I'm his son, so under here law and non-adverse possession law, that I would say naturally it's at least partly my house. No, I'd say my brother and sister. I say, so we're all the owners, from what I understand. So, with that, now, so I have several arguments.
From what he overstands, it's his house, his brother's house, and his sister's house, even though none of them have worked to get the house in their name or pay property tax since his father died. And I believe his father died many, 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 many years ago. I'm actually trying to find... I'm trying to find specifically... okay, right here. 8 weeks ago, somebody posted the address of his house, name or street number, street name, city, zip code, how much it sold for at tax auction, and the new owner of the house, and their address. So this is way behind. It got sold 2 months ago, and he's just now in court. I want to say it was January 14th. But he overstands nothing. I don't understand this at all.
I have 15 arguments here as to why the property taxes are illegal, and therefore we never had an obligation to pay in the first place. Okay. Now I was going to file this. I plan to file this at court today. I wasn't able to do it before, to give you time to overlook all these arguments, because I know that'd be better. But I'm going to file it today, anyways, when this is done with these paperworks. But I'm going to make them verbally now. So. First of all, the plaintiff, they're alleged.
And I'm muted because that's how I do it here. I'll post the link to his channel from my phone in 3 seconds. So bear with me for that. What was I going to say? Oh, I think his arguments are going to be the same arguments that he used when he tried to put the PPO against the treasurer for Wayne County. I think that's going to be the entire argument. So I'm probably going to, after this, post that video in my community section where I had BSBT-bot read all of the pages. But yeah, I think that's going to be the argument. It's going to be quite lengthy and quite nonsensical.
That, their action is brought under MCL. The MCL is brought under 554, etc. That deals with landlord-tenant issues, okay? So, in order to be a tenant, you must enter a contract. Me, my father, no one else entered a contract with the plaintiff. I'm in our property here. So that's the first argument. So since we never entered an agreement, we're not true tenants. And therefore they have no standing to move forward. So it's not true this is a landlord-tenant case. There must be a contract though. Okay, and all right, next argument is lack of uniformity. The Michigan Constitution, Article 9, Section 3 requires property taxes to be uniform under one system of taxation. However, Michigan's property tax system lacks uniformity, as it allows different assessment methods and exemptions. Now, these are all under the headings. These are why, like I said again, property taxes are illegal, they're immoral.
You said property taxes are illegal?
Yes, or immoral based on that argument there.
No,
and
you said they're illegal.
Yes.
What law says they're illegal?
As I just said, well, on this argument, I have total 15 arguments here as to that. And this one, again, it's Article 9, Section 3 of the Michigan Constitution, because there's a lack of uniformity. The Michigan Constitution requires property taxes to be uniform under one system of taxation. However, Michigan's property tax system lacks uniformity, as it allows different assessment methods and exemptions. Now, second argument, Headley Amendment violation. The Headley Amendment, Article 9, Section 31, limits property tax increases to the rate of inflation. Michigan's property tax system fails to comply with this provision, resulting in excessive taxation. Next one. Now, first I'm going to point out now, remember now, their whole, the plaintiff's whole position is based on us not paying property taxes. So if the property taxes are legal, this would, this means they have no basis to try to steal a house, which is what they're trying to do. So
also, I just want to put that out there. I pulled up my past video where he was trying to file the PPO against the treasurer of Wayne County. He says he has 15 points to talk about for this case. His PPO against the Wayne County Wayne County treasurer was 18 points long, which absolutely terrific. I'm glad he's cutting down. He still doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, but I'm glad he's cutting down.
I'll point that out. Let me continue my argument. So unless you want to make a rule on each one afterwards, that might be the best thing I could, if you don't forget. But okay, third argument, Proposal B violation. Proposal B, that is Article 9, Section 3 of the Michigan Constitution, limits property tax increases to 5% or the rate of inflation, whichever is less. Michigan's property tax system violates this provision, leading to unlawful tax increases.
So do I think property tax do we pay too much in property tax? Sure. With that said, there's 3 grown-ass adults in this house, and not one of them thought to pay property tax. Not one of them thought to pay property tax. Not one of them thought to move out. Not one thought to get their father's house in their name. They sat on it for years and years and years. And I know they've all in the past filed or had criminal charges brought against Eric for domestic violence, the brother and the sister. So I don't think they like him, but it seems like they may have bought into the secret sauce that Eric Martin was selling to try to get out of paying taxes. And clearly it didn't work because the house got sold 8 weeks ago.
Argument number 4. Plaintiff is a corporation. And that's clear by looking at the paperwork, M&R Property Incorporation, LLC. Therefore, because they are a corporation, and not one of the living people, such as myself, they can't sue and bring claim because they're not living. And that's a U.S. Supreme Court case supports that proposition. It's Rundle versus Delaware at volume 55, U.S. Reports, page 80, decided in 1852. Which hasn't been overruled as far as I'm aware, in case sometimes people like to mention, oh, it's an old case. That doesn't mean nothing. I heard a lawyer tell me that before. They know better. But anyway, argument number 5. Plaintiff claims or will claim it bought our house. That's not possible, as a corporation isn't one of the living people and can't. Also, even if a so-called living man or woman claims they bought and paid for the house, if they claim they did with Federal Reserve notes, which I'm sure they will, they can't buy it with Federal Reserve notes, as it's not real money, but it's fake money. And I have a case that supports that, and then read this here. In Donnie William versus Commissioner or the Revenue Services.
All right, let's jump back to Rundle v. Delaware, which was a case from 1852 about one company diverting the water from the Delaware River and damaging milling operations in Pennsylvania. Eric Martin's an idiot.
The Supreme Court said, a note, even when and payable on demand and fully secured, is still only a promise to pay. Since Federal Reserve notes are not secured and payable on demand, according to the law, they are only a promise to pay and not payment. It's U.S. Supreme Court, volume 429, U.S. Reports, page 569, and then you have the corresponding citations and other law books, Lawyer's Edition, second edition, page 48, volume 97 at Supreme Court Reporter, page 850. Argument number 6. Property taxes are also legal because we have the God-given, unalienable, human right, common law right, recognized constitutional due process right of the Michigan and federal Constitution to life, liberty, and property. Property taxes are taxing this right, which so-called government servants, really only a corporation for profit, corporate employees, don't have the right to, as rights cannot be taxed, and it's a right to own, use, and enjoy my property, house, etc.
You do not have a right to own a house, because if you had a right to own a house, everyone would own homes, and that's clearly not the case. Broken System, Broken Trust, the good Broken System, Broken Trust. For $1.99, KFARR, have Eric Martin on your show so you can learn. I wish. But I think I would have to hire him for like a magician gig for him to try to do that, and I don't know if that'll be worth it.
Rights cannot be taxed. Murdoch versus Pennsylvania, volume 319, U.S. Supreme Court Reports, page 105 at page 113, decided in 1943 by the U.S. Supreme Court. Argument number 7. Also, I couldn't have paid in the sufficient amount of Federal Reserve notes. I'm talking about myself here. I couldn't have paid in a sufficient amount of Federal Reserve notes, even if I wanted to, as I was out of a full-time job for a long time, and during the time of these property taxes, supposedly, allegedly owed, and at other times was only making ridiculously small amounts of money. That wasn't.
So his argument is, I was broke or I was in jail. Therefore, I shouldn't have to pay taxes. I shouldn't have to pay bills on my house. How does that make sense, Eric? How does that make sense? I'm pretty sure if I decided not to pay my cable bill, my electric, and said, you know what, guys? I had a rough month. The views just weren't there this month. I'm good to go, right? No, that's not how bills work. That's definitely not how taxes work. Lurker 145 gifted memberships. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just can't. Yeah, it's exactly. That's what I was getting at. So it's the state's fault that he's unemployable. He's made himself unemployable and then is saying, oh, well, because of this, I can't pay property tax. While 2 other grown-ass human beings are in this house.
Intentionally, of course, or sometimes, you can apply for jobs one after another and you just don't get it because people are ahead of you, whatever the case may be. Argument number 8. Also, I wasn't receiving all the notices of the property tax bills as they were coming in my father's name, who is deceased, and my sister, Lisa Martin, with her stupidity and maturity problem, was keeping a lot or all of it away from me, so I couldn't see them, nor was she telling me about it that I remember. Luckily, I was able to learn of it when I was able to get and read the mail before she got it and hid it, just because we argue, because she gets hurt by verbal truths about herself.
Okay, so he doesn't have to pay his property taxes because he doesn't remember being told about it. Last I checked, your house is not in your name, it is in your father's name. Therefore, your mail probably still gets, his mail anyway, probably still gets delivered to the house. How else did you expect them to tell you? Did they expect you to say, hey, random people who are basically squatting in this house for free, do you mind paying property tax? Because they're not going to do that. They're not going to come to the random people squatting and say, hey, you want to pay property tax? You should probably get on that. No, they're just going to take your house and sell it. Gary, this guy is a special kind of idiot. Yeah, 1,000%. His Facebook isn't terrible, or his YouTube isn't terrible. It's just a bunch of videos of him doing fuck shit with law enforcement in court, but his Facebook is wild because he just constantly posts random AI generated shorts of shit that's like not possible, but then tries to pretend that it's like all normal shit. Yeah, so I'm broke, a felon, and don't remember. Ergo, I'm not responsible. Exactly.
Argument number 9. Me, my father, nor anyone else who has lived at 9074 Clifford Street, Taylor, Michigan 48180, was never obligated to pay any property taxes because the obligation to pay all Federal Reserve notes belongs to the United States. And that's 12. The legal authority that supports that proposition is 12 U.S.C. Section 411. Argument number 10. Private property owners have the absolute exclusive right of disposition of their property. Private property, as protected from being taken for public uses, is such property as belongs absolutely, underlined, to an individual and of which, underlined, he has the exclusive right of disposition. Property of a specific, fixed, and tangible nature capable of being in possession and transmitted to another, such as houses, lands, and chattels. Scranton versus Wheeler, U.S. Supreme Court, volume 179, U.S. Reports, page 141, decided in 1900, Black's Law Dictionary, 6th edition. Underneath that, I got note, private property is not tangible property because...
He quoted I believe the first and the second edition of Black's Law Dictionary earlier in the video, and now he's trying to quote the 6th, and I believe as of 2024, 2025, we are on the 12th edition. So my man's, he's almost there. He's almost there. He's past the second, thank God, but he's almost there.
It can't be touched or seen by a fictional corporation. Argument number 11. The supposed property tax bill sent by Taylor City Tax Assessor and the Wayne County Property Tax Assessor, Eric Sabri, were never, as far as I'm aware, signed, validated, or verified as a true bill in violation of the Fair Debt Collection Act, 15 U.S.C. Section 1692, 26 U.S.C. Section 6065, and the Administrative Procedures Act at 5 U.S.C. Section 556. On to that, I'm going to stop with that argument there. I still got more. But I have an exhibit I want to introduce in the court, so I need to grab that. That supports this. That I have at least one of the tax bills that came through the mail. Like I said, I didn't get them all, but the one I do have supports it. How it's not signed, it's not validated under oath. I'm going to find it. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I got a lot of paper, but I'm going to grab that.
So it's funny you say this. I found, well, that's not the one I wanted. This is the one I wanted. I couldn't find the latest edition of Black's Law Dictionary, but I could find like 6th, 7th, 8th through sources because somebody on that stupid UCC 1- whatever Facebook page thing I've been rolling through for content, one of them tried to bring up Driver, and I looked it up in some of the later editions, and I found it, and it's super simplified, and there's a reason they don't use the later editions for that. for the low, low price of $89.95. I will find it cheaper than $89.95. Ooh, that one's even more expensive. $147 used. Golly. $120. Yikes. If you want your 12th edition, go to Amazon. There's more. I know there's more. Back to Eric Martin. Sorry, Eric Martin took a break. I think the judge is trying to reset his brain with every dumbass thing he just listened to.
Question, Randy. So the normal procedure is court, I don't know about enter exhibits. You want to show it to counsel first, then enter an exhibit with you guys here, or so let me write it down for a second. She'll mark it. Right. Okay, A, B, and C there. I got 3 pages there. I don't want to mark it necessarily. Okay. Basically, like I said, that's just for the purpose of showing that they're not signed and testified under oath. They're just typed out pieces of paper, which anyone can do.
You can mark those as defendants. Are there 3 there?
Yes.
Defendants exhibits A, B, and C.
Defendants A, B, and C. If there are any objections, those be admitted in evidence. Those will be admitted, hearing no objections.
Okay, ready to move forward with my arguments? You want to look over them? Okay.
One second here.
Sure, no problem.
All right, I've reviewed those. Go ahead, Mr. Martin.
All right. Next argument number 12. Well, this is the one I kind of made before. I guess I'll just repeat it again because, just so I can cite the complete MCL. Plaintiff initiated this case in this court pursuant to MCL 555.134, subsections 1 or 3. See their notice to quit and to recover possession of property, landlord, tenant. Also, I'll point out, you see it as it says right there on the heading, landlord, tenant. I point that out because, my talking with her on the phone, the plaintiff's counsel, they're going to try to make it seem like, I'm not a tenant because I'm an occupant. I remember she mentioned that. Well, you're an occupant. Well, this is a landlord-tenant case, not landlord-occupant. But anyways, but besides that, I'm still up in the position. There still must be a contract anyways.
Does he think that the new owner should just be like, oh, well, there was an occupant that wasn't paying the taxes. I guess we'll just let him live there for free now. We'll take care of everything, Eric Martin.
It's no different. But and the action, the action they're bringing it under, the law they're bringing it under still must be landlord-tenant. The law doesn't say landlord-occupant. It says landlord-tenant. So anyways, yeah. So like I said, there must be a landlord-tenant relationship. Once again, there is none. They have no evidence of a contract, a signed contract, like, normally is done, like someone's renting an apartment, whatever. This is our house. We lived in all our life, so.
Cool.
All right, so. There is no landlord-tenant. I'm gonna finish reading off in case I'm forgetting some of the rest of this argument about the, landlord-tenant. There is no landlord-tenant relationship here, as there isn't a contract between, okay, so I already said that. So make sure I'm not forgetting nothing. Or can there be, as a non-living fiction corporation can enter a contract? Okay, I can't remember if I mentioned that one. So because the plaintiffs are not living, we can't possibly enter a contract anyways, because a corporation's a corporation, it's not a living human being. It doesn't exist. To suggest so is fraud. Therefore, with no contract, there never was an obligation to perform. There must be a contract for an obligation to perform. Argument number 13. Property taxes violate my and our right against slavery and involuntary servitude, as it's forcing property taxes on us against our consent in violation of Michigan Constitution, Article 1, Section 9, and the 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution. Argument number 14. Property taxes violate the prohibition of unreasonable searches and seizures in violation of Michigan Constitution, Article 1, Section 11, and the 4th Amendment of the United States Constitution, as a warrant is needed and supported by probable cause and supported by oath or affirmation, which must be based on criminal conduct, which we don't have here.
My guy, you're getting kicked out of your house. Your house, let me put that in quotes, because it ain't your house, it's your dad's house. Who's dead? But, like, he's saying all these things, and it's like, dude, you're getting kicked out of the house for lack of paying property taxes. It's really that simple. And you run into this kind of logic all the time. I hate to keep bringing up this stupid Facebook group, but you see this type of logic all the time, where they take a problem with a very, 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 very simple solution. Saw somebody, what was it? Trying not to get my house foreclosed. How can I get my house without paying, or like, how can I get my house without making payments? And it's like, well, the solution is making payments. Or this, it's like, the solution was making payments. It's property tax in Michigan, in Taylor. It's probably like $1,500 to $3,000 a year for 3 people living there. You could have just paid your property taxes and avoided this entire situation. We would have gotten content of you getting arrested for beating your brothers and sisters until they passed away, because I think his brother's older than him. His sister might be around the same age, but it's a super simple solution, and y'all nuked it.
This attempt to steal our house. Argument number 15. Property taxes are consistent, never-ending throughout one's life normally, and are excessive in violation of the cruel and unusual punishments clauses of the Michigan Constitution.
That's a solid
Article
argument.
1, Section 16, and the 8th Amendment of the United States Constitution. And that's all the arguments I have for now. One other thing, I wanted to, maybe it might not be necessary, because I guess with the exhibits, it's kind of clear, that none of them are signed or testified under oath, but I wanted to subpoem Eric Sabri, Wayne County Treasurer, to basically, to question, to see, basically admit that none of them are verified under oath as supposed bills. And I admit it's a little, because I was so concentrated, I put so much energy on all these arguments, 15 here, I kind of forgot the last minute to think about it, and then I tried to call yesterday and get the subpoem done from the clerk. I admit I should have been done earlier, but, I'm not an official attorney, so, it should be overlooked.
You're not an official attorney. You're not a unofficial attorney. You're not an attorney in fact, because in fact, you're not a fucking attorney. You've never been to law school. You went to prison and refer to yourself as a jailhouse lawyer. You're nothing close to an official attorney.
I think, because as U.S. Supreme Court said in Haynes versus Kerner, pleadings or, a non-lawyer, represent himself is held to a less stringent standards than formal pleadings by a lawyer. And not just pleadings, of course, making your own case, but but she said she couldn't do it like over the phone. I was trying to get it done like yesterday, and at last minute, try to just call and get them on the phone or something so I can question them, but she said she couldn't do it, so.
This dude has been coming after this treasurer for months. The last time I covered, I think, Eric Martin, I may have been in my basement office with like a full beard. Interesting. Okay, there we go. And we're back. Okay. That was weird. Yeah, so the last time I covered this guy was 80,000 years ago. That's what I wanted. Right there. Okay. It freaked out for a second. Technical shenanigans. Yeah. Last time I covered him was in the summertime. He had all of 6 months, 7 months to try to get this guy questioned. And instead of actually doing it, he pulled a Chris Ryder and waited till the day before to try to get something. KFARR is a clanker. Yeah, I'm actually AI. Hopefully I'm back and you guys actually heard all of that, but we've got 3 minutes left.
Let's mention that. And that's it for my argument for now.
All right.
Okay.
And, Mr. Berg, do you want to add anything further?
May I please, Your Honor?
Yes.
As Mr. Martin argued, he believes that property taxes are illegal and that he's a sovereign citizen exempt from state law. But quoting from case law, the sovereign citizen movement is a highly dispersed anti-government movement. Tax protesting or tax defiance seems to be a logical consequence of the movement's beliefs. In general, sovereign citizens believe that the United States government is a fraud and that they, the sovereign citizens, retain an individual common law identity, exempting them from the majority of those fraudulent government institutions.
If you guys can't hear what the attorney's doing, she's reading the definition. I almost want to say she's reading the definition of sovereign citizens. Sovereign citizens. Not ACLU. Southern Poverty Law Center. I think she's reading the definition of sovereign citizens from the Southern Poverty Law Center's definition. Where are you? Where are you? Yeah, I think that's what she just did. So her response to all of Eric Martin's word salad was, here's what a sovereign citizen is, Judge.
Citizen theory presented by the defendant in this case has been universally rejected by both the state and federal courts. Specifically in Smith L. v. Michigan, it's an Eastern District Court case number 24-11370 from March 20, 2025. The court reaffirmed that such arguments lack any basis in law or fact and are frivolous and waste of court resources. Moreover, these arguments must be rejected as a matter of law because the state's authority to levy and collect property taxes and foreclosure on payment is codified in the Michigan General Property Tax Act, Act 206 of 1893, MCL 211.1 SF. If defendant's own exhibits A through C show that he received the notices from the county and that the property taxes were delinquent, and he acknowledges that he didn't pay the taxes. And if defendant had issues with the tax foreclosure or the tax laws, he failed to challenge the underlying tax foreclosure in the circuit court proceedings and bordering the statutory redemption period. And now he's barred from challenging the validity of the tax foreclosure process or my client's title in the property. So we would seek judgment possession.
Mr. Martin, if you get back, please.
Yep.
How long have you and your relatives lived at this property?
All my life, as I remember, I'm 52 years old right now, and brother and sister, same with them. Well, my sister moved out, a while back and then came back. What she had
Let me ask you this. These are notices indicating you haven't paid taxes in the last couple of years. Did you ever pay taxes on the property?
Me personally,
no.
Did
Say
the
no.
family that lived there pay taxes?
Well, see, it's my father's original house. So my father used to, yeah, he's deceased now. Huh?
Did he pay taxes?
Yes.
Why do you do that? If they're illegal?
Well, because as everyone does, because it's under threat and duress if you don't take your house. So that doesn't make it a legit contract.
I just want to know why he paid them
Yeah.
and you haven't.
Well, first, I was in prison 24 years.
Pardon me?
I was in prison 24 years.
You haven't been in prison for 52 years, have you?
No. 24 years.
Let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Do you own a car?
No. I have a driver's license. I'm working on that now in the court. They're not
Have you
illegal.
ever owned a car?
Whoa, 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 whoa. We must go back. Whoa, 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 Eric Martin. Did he just drop that on us? Is Eric Martin working on his driver's license?
No. 24 years.
Let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Do you own a car?
No. I have a driver's license. I'm working on that now in the court. They're not
Have you ever
illegal.
owned a car?
No.
You ever rented a car?
No.
Never rented a car.
No. No driver's license. I'm working on it now. Should be getting it soon. But
Pardon me?
don't have a driver's license.
Let me ask you this. If somebody buys a car,
No way. Did Eric Martin just blue ball us? Eric Martin just blue balled us. Eric Martin just blue balled us. I'm a bit upset at that. I know the outcome just because he's been bitching about it for fucking 157. You know what? Let me check the comment section. God, I'm so upset. His battery probably died. Needs to get a Huffy. He had that scooter that I don't think he ever got back. I'm so upset that he fucking blue balled me like that. Leaving a comment right now. You blue balled my chat with no ending. Sad. Sad. I know he wasn't going to go to jail or anything, but that's just... What a dick. What a dick. But now that there's 157,000 people here in chat today, apparently Eric Martin is something in high demand. Before we leave, I gotta pitch it again. My fun channel. Reading the Room. KFARR is Reading the Room now. I have rebranded so that I could actually get in the algorithm because turns out Reading the Room, there's a million of us, even though I have the most subscribers. But yes. Ed, I still haven't gotten around to watching Avatar. I keep having things pop up after my stream. But yeah, go subscribe to Reading the Room. I think it's the pinned comment still. That would be terrific. There's 200 of you. I expect 5 new subscribers. Just do that. But yeah, actually, let me do something real quick. Let me figure out who's live so I can go send you over there. Because I'm a courteous host, and I know you guys aren't done with the party yet. I don't need a trailer, I need a redirect. Oh my lord, is no one alive right now? Yeah, no one's alive. So unless you guys want to go watch San Diego webcams of random Navy ships going in and out of port in San Diego, I think we're going to leave it here. All right. Oh, I was blue balling us. He lost. The judge basically threw it in his face and said, "Hey, Eric Martin, go fuck yourself." He called him he's since deleted the post, but he used the judge's real name, called him treasonous coward or something. He called him a treasonous coward. He lost. All 15 points. Done. Didn't matter. Like I said, eight weeks ago, he did indeed have that house get sold from underneath him. I don't know if they're still there or if they're living in a box down by the river with Dirty Mike and the boys. But Eric Martin has lost this case. His house has been sold. A little part of me hopes we hear from Eric Martin again, but a little part of me also thinks Eric Martin might take this L. If he's also trying to get a damn, what's it called, the driver's license, he might be out of the sovereign citizen game after this. How many losses can you take before it's just like, yeah, maybe this isn't working? Oh, okay, Colin is live. I'll send you over there. Tell Colin I said what's up. Tell Colin to check his fucking Discord messages. Yeah, so this is what I'm curious about. He records everything he can. I really hope the sheriff comes to take him out of the house and he records it. Because you guys know that if he records it, I'll play it. I'll either play in a live stream or I'll make a video about it. Eric Martin is an idiot. But that's it. I'll, tell Colin I said what's up. Tell him to check his Discord messages. See you guys in the next one. Peace.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.